Watch out!
You're safe. For now.
Thanks.
Marvin Branagh.
Leon Kennedy.
Marvin Branagh is one of the few allies that will assist Leon and Claire during the events of the game Resident Evil 2. An exemplary officer of the law, Marvin was one of the most fiercely loyal and dedicated men on the entire force. Traits which held him in the highest of regard from his fellow brothers and sisters in blue. However, it would also be these traits that would spell his demise after the once great Raccoon City would be struck with a devastating viral outbreak, turning all of Marvin's kindness into a liability.
Marvin!
Don't worry about me! Just get going!
No way! I'm not leaving you behind!
The story of Marvin Branagh as we know it begins and ends with his occupation as a police officer in the Raccoon City Police Department. Marvin was one of the most respected people on the entire force, his position of lieutenant ensuring that he was very familiar with the goings-on of the station, and providing him with ample opportunity to get to know his fellow officers. He saw these men and women almost as his family, and would do what he could to keep them safe and make them feel at home in the precinct. On the eve of the incident in Raccoon, Marvin had been working on a case involving a jewel theft, and preparing a warm welcome for the newest member of the force, a young man named Leon S. Kennedy. Unfortunately, these tasks would soon be interrupted, as a massive unforeseen outbreak would force the entire station into a state of complete disarray. The RPD would be turned into a makeshift shelter, providing safe haven for citizens as the city around them began to quickly descend into madness. However, with none of the officers truly understanding the nature of this disease, it wouldn't be long before it would make its way into the station. Citizens would become agitated, attacking each other in their supposed safe haven, the officers chalking it up to stress from the situation. A situation that was rapidly deteriorating as a mob formed just outside their barricades, making any hopes of escape much less feasible.
Does anyone know what started this?
Not a clue. But honestly, all you need to know is that this place will eat you alive if you aren't careful.
Yeah, well, I was supposed to start last week, and I got a call to stay away. I wish I'd come here sooner.
You're here now.
Marvin and the other policemen would try to manage the ever-growing chaos, but with threats from outside barring their escape, and threats from inside continuing to mount, the casualties began piling up. Marvin was one of the first to realize that this station was becoming a lost cause, gathering a small band of those remaining and making plans to find an alternative route of escape. This plan would be a success, seeing several of Marvin's colleagues and a handful of civilians escape via a police van. But, unfortunately, in the pandemonium, Marvin would be left behind. In his isolation, he would begin to scour the now desolate police station. But instead of finding an escape of his own, he would meet with yet more misfortune. Brad Vickers, a colleague and member of the station's STARS unit, had found his way back to the RPD, but not before getting himself infected with the virus that was sweeping the city. Marvin knew what had to be done, knew that this was no longer the colleague, the friend, the brother that he knew, and yet he couldn't bring himself to pull the trigger.
Come on, man. Not you too. Sorry. Sorry.
Branagh's Branagh's inability to fend off his former friend would result in a large bite on his abdomen, a wound that would cause him to slowly deteriorate as he took refuge in the final safe area of the RPD. However, despite his grave condition, Marvin didn't just lay down and give up. And as a new face found themselves in over their head at the station, through his severe pain, he attempted to help in any way that he could. Marvin is one of the last men standing in what has become a bastion of death. The once vibrant halls that bustled with the hope of a safer city, now merely a crypt to hold the decaying bodies of his former comrades and friends. Marvin had sacrificed everything to ensure that he could save as many people as possible during Raccoon's darkest hour. And as he sat, bleeding profusely and in immense pain as the fever took over, undoubtedly his only regret was that he couldn't do more.
Oh God, no. Marvin.